All right, I know I'm supposed to focus on making evergreen videos, but the truth of the matter is a lot of people are thinking about Bitcoin right now. Just 1 minute ago, I wrote down the price, 88,919 US dollars, which I believe is an all-time high, but then I looked at my phone again. I'm using the CoinGecko app to track the prices, but you can use CoinMarketCap or Coinbase, Gemini, whatever you want. I like CoinGecko because it's easy to understand the pricing across crypto from Bitcoin all the way to Ethereum, Cardano, etc. But you can understand it over time. And right now I'm looking at Bitcoin and it's 89,186. It's increasing as we speak right now. But you're probably wondering, if you don't have Bitcoin, should I buy some now? Trump has been elected the president, and you may have read the news that a lot of executives in the crypto industry and in general know that Trump is going to be more crypto friendly than the Biden administration was. He spoke about taking down the current SEC chair, Gary Gensler, and he actually appeared at the Bitcoin Miami conference. If you followed my YouTube channel, Chic Voyage, be sure to like and subscribe, by the way. And you could see that Trump is definitely on board with Bitcoin. He wants to mine Bitcoin in the US, and his sons are also involved in crypto, as well as his running mate, JD Vance, who also holds a large amount of Bitcoin. But the question is, if you don't have a position, what do you do? It's at an all-time high. So I would say personally, not financial advice, that it's probably not a great idea to buy at the all-time highs. But what you can do is start tracking the price. You can add it to your watch list so you get familiar with the pricing. And I also refer to Bitcoin in US dollars. And back when I bought it in 2017, I think it was in the low 20,000s. And then we had a Bitcoin bull run when Elon Musk put Bitcoin on Tesla's balance sheet. That's when Bitcoin rose, I think, to the high 50s, early 60s. And, you know, I was already watching it. So when we had the crypto winter, when Bitcoin went back down to the low 20s, I purchased some Bitcoin because it was on my watch list. So that's one approach you could do. The other approach is you can look at the Bitcoin ETFs. You've got major institutions now like BlackRock, Grayscale, Fidelity, and each of these Bitcoin ETFs are going to have their own different pricing, but the idea is that they're going to be tracking the price of Bitcoin. And with right now, Bitcoin is at $89,000. I'm sure I will bank on Bitcoin reaching 100,000 US by the end of the year. It could even reach it by the end of the week, the way things are going right now. But if you do the Bitcoin ETF, you're tracking the price of Bitcoin, but you're not buying native Bitcoin. So the way it works is Bitcoin's $89,000 right now. But if you buy $100 of native Bitcoin, you're getting a fractional amount of Bitcoin. And a lofty goal for most average people is to own one Bitcoin. One Bitcoin would be whatever it is right now, $89,000 US. But if you're getting the Bitcoin ETF, you're not playing that game. You're just tracking the price of Bitcoin. So if I'm looking at the CoinGecko app and I can see over the past year, it's increased 141.6%. So if you're banking on Bitcoin increasing even further in a year from now, then maybe the Bitcoin ETF is the play. You can start dollar cost averaging into that. And then if Bitcoin increases, let's say to 200,000 US by the end of 2025, you're gonna realize those gains, but you're not worried about buying Bitcoin at those all-time highs in 2024. So I hope my logic is correct, and I hope that makes sense to you. So that's one way you could play the Bitcoin game. But another way of looking at it is that there's other crypto assets. If I just go back to the main ranking list of CoinGecko, we've got Ethereum at number 2, which is at currently 3,300, and it's up 38% over the week. But Ethereum, the number 2 crypto asset, which was created by a Russian Canadian, and it is a network of networks. That's the way I think about it. We have NFTs, we have decentralized finance, you've got other layers that sit on top of Ethereum. In the past, I created the Nomad coin on Ethereum. And yeah, there's a lot of use cases for the Ethereum blockchain, but the asset itself hasn't increased close to all-time highs yet. So that's another asset you could look at, the number 2 crypto asset, Ethereum, which also has their Ethereum ETFs. And they've also gone through huge milestones as on the asset, going to a more efficient energy mechanism called proof of stake. And the all-time high price of Ethereum is 4,876, which was reached on November 2021. So that's an asset you could look at. And if you go down the list, you've got Solana. It's currently 220. So it's up almost 300% over the year. Now here in Vancouver, I go to some of the crypto events. I've got my ear to the street, and it seems like Solana has a lot of momentum here on the North American West Coast here. And you know, it's energy efficient, and you can do things like NFTs on there. There's the smartphone payments. So Solana is another asset that I would keep my eye on. It's currently the number 4 crypto asset, and it's currently 220 US, right? And then as you go down the list, you're looking at your risk increases, in my opinion. You've got Dogecoin at 36 cents, and that's also increased 222% in the past 30 days. It's increased 371% over the year. Elon Musk loves Dogecoin. He owns X now, formerly Twitter. He's joked about Dogecoin being a form of currency or tipping on Twitter, which is now X. And now with his influence in the Trump administration, you know, the chances of him utilizing Dogecoin in some form are the highest that it's ever been. So it's not a bad idea to have some Dogecoin in case Elon decides to utilize it for his X platform. So if you go further down the list, you've got Cardano ADA, which has been quiet. It's 59 cents, but it's increased 57% over the year. Not as much as the other crypto assets, but I think you get my point here that the further you go down, there's more opportunities, higher risks. So you definitely have to do your research. XRP is one that you should also keep your eyes on. They've had their disputes with the SEC. They are currently at 60 cents. All-time high for XRP is $3.40. So nowhere near its all-time high. One other token I'll mention is BNB, the Binance token, 656 US. It's up 166%. And yeah, I mean, yeah, look at those other assets. You can look at the exchanges like Coinbase and the ETFs. So a lot of opportunities there. And if you miss this boat with Bitcoin, you can add it to your watch list. Now let's just say you've got Bitcoin now and it's sitting on an exchange like Gemini, Coinbase, or Crypto.com. What would I recommend? I would recommend you move it to a hardware wallet using Ledger or Trezor. I personally use Ledger, and I'll link to it below. I've got tutorials on how to move your Bitcoin from the exchange to a hardware wallet. It's not that complicated, but there can be a series of steps that could trip you up. So if you need some guidance, I got videos on that. If you do want to buy Bitcoin or other crypto, which exchanges or where should you buy it? If you're in Canada, I would recommend Wealthsimple. It's a very simple interface. You can buy stocks and crypto on there and Bitcoin. I'll link to that below. If you're in the US, maybe you want to look at Coinbase. There's Robinhood, Crypto.com, which is more international. And just compare their fees. I actually haven't looked at the micro level what those fees are. But yeah, but the advantage of using these large exchanges is that you have safety that they won't go under or get hacked. So Coinbase is actually listed on the NASDAQ. It's one of the largest exchanges. So there's some safety in that. So I'm gonna leave it there. Like, subscribe, let me know what your predictions are for Bitcoin by the end of the year. I will say now that we're at 89,000, 100,000 is definitely a safe prediction, and I'm gonna stick with that. Let me know in the comments below. See ya.